welcome to my video. In this video, it's going to be pretty short and sweet, but I'm just going to show you a build, my Eclipse build that I use. It's a skill status effects build, basically. So obviously, when I run this build, I usually run Firewall. And I know that sounds weird, but there's a reason behind it. Because I use stuff that you don't see most people using what I use. One of the skills that I use, you won't see people using it. And that is the Fire Seeker Mine, which is the Airburst Seeker Mine, sorry. And I'm also using the Hive as well. So I'm going to go ahead and put this on, because this build actually is a couple of different things, actually. It is the Eclipse build, but I also have the Vile Mask with it, and I also run Creeping Death with it as well. Just a minute. I apparently got to put some stuff away. I'm going to put the Bullet King away. Pestilence away. Okay, well, I'll just put it on manually then. It's just, I don't know why it's saying that, because I'm not full. So... Eclipse. I have to put it on manually. Okay, Vile Mask. And this piece is... Creeping Death. Eclipse. Eclipse. And Eclipse. There's 30% status effects right there, plus this is 39.4, plus this is 43.9, 53. It's not bad. Alright, so this status effect build I've been using, I've actually used this in the Dark Zone, which is really funny because it works great in the Dark Zone. Depending on the hazard protection that you're going against. Like, I've thoroughly tested things in this game, and I've noticed and I've come to the conclusion that not everybody runs hazard protection builds. They might have them, and they might not. But everybody that you run into is not always going to have hazard protection. As a matter of fact, I found out that most people don't wear hazard protection in the Dark Zone. They go for that DPS build. So that's where this build goes crazy. When you are not wearing status effects, you're in trouble. Especially if I hit you with my burn. Which I'm going to show you in a second. As to why I like to... That's why I like using this build in the Dark Zone. Now, it doesn't always work because, again, it depends on who you're going against. If they're wearing status effects, then okay. Now,
I need a vacation.
I've encountered one person, I think, out of the last 100 people in the Dark Zone that was wearing hazard protection. But, okay, so the other weapon that I like to use, keep this in mind, because you're going to need this weapon. Not the particular weapon that I'm going to show you, but you need the talent. Okay, so there's many things that we can use here. I've got this weapon that has the perpetuation talent on it, which is headshots grants 50% status effect damage and duration to the next status effect you apply. Or I have my G36 that has it as well. So for now, I'll just, for shits and giggles, as I say, I will use that as my example. Now,
Civilians in danger. You're gonna need to get the access codes
this
to the vault and recover
particular
the item
skill
the
is
hyena
something
stole
that
from
you
Air
do
Force
not
One.
see people
The
using.
hyena insider
I
says
am
whoever's
probably the
prospecting
only
the
one that I know
CEO's
of that
office
uses this.
will have a key card that should give you access to the vault.
Why? Because people are just not patient. Nobody sees the value in it. I want to show you something before I even go any further about why I like to use this. Okay, let me just get into cover here so they don't see me. Oh, I'll go right here so they can't see me. Okay, so this was the old meta. I'll show you when fire was strong, pretty strong. It still is. You just have to know where to look. So the sticky bomb fire only has a duration of 12.2 seconds. And the chem launcher, they've really nerfed them. It has a duration of 12.4 seconds. But the fire seeker mine, which nobody ever thinks of using or wants to use, has a 31-second duration. So when I set somebody on fire, they're going to be burning for 31 seconds. And they're not going to live. It's basically, they're going to be having a bad day. Now this is my build. Watch what happens. This is why I like Eclipse so much. And that's it. It's game over. Literally, that's how quick it ends. I mean, I didn't even have to fire a shot. Same thing here. And it's over again. Didn't even have to fire a shot. Love it. It's great. It works great against people, and it works great against NPCs as well. Now, the big guys take a little more effort. They don't die so easily. It depends, actually. Now, I didn't have to fire a shot, so I didn't really use my talent on that gun, the perpetuation, which I'm good at this time.
This is what I've been waiting for! I love it.
Still gotta get past me. I can destroy you.
Going down!
Oh no.
Immediate medical assistance needed.
I'm dead.
Agent killed.
Anyways, no. They don't usually fucking rush you like that anyways, first of all. That is very untypical of them to do that, but whatever. I don't really care that they killed me. The point is if that was human, they would have been dead. I'm sorry, they would have been dead. They wouldn't have survived that. And they wouldn't be rushing, I'll tell you that right now, because it would hurt even more. Those guys that just killed me, they have like 50, 60, 70, 80, something like that, million armor. A little bit different than humans. Yeah, that's...
Incoming backup request.
Look at that bleed duration. Look at that. No, I thought that was ceramics. I need ceramics badly. This talent is really nice to have on your gun. It's called Perpetuation. It gives you 50% skill damage. Let me read that again. Yeah, it's 50% status effect damage, and duration to the next status effect you apply. These are skills that nobody else that I've ever seen uses, except for me. And they should, because it's one of the most deadliest skills in the game, if you know how to use it. And that's the end of that shit. One of the few skills in this game that nobody uses, of course, because they think that it's shit. Well, it is. I mean, but if you know how to use it, I've learned how to use it.
Serious trauma detected.
In case you decide to fucking rush me again. Oh, you can still hit me through the walls. That's great. Oh. Yeah, they're chasing me now.
Immediate medical assistance needed.
Yeah, motherfucker. I don't think he's gonna last. Yeah, he's dead.
Checking for the key card.
That fire is nasty. Those guys have a lot of armor, though. That's not it. There's still guys. Somebody's still alive. Okay. So that is basically, I can show you if you're still here. This is basically what I use for my build. I'm just gonna run through it real quick. It's your choice on weapons, talents and shit, but this is what I use. So first of all, I use Firewall, because Firewall, um, gives me 20% burn duration. And there's two ways I run this build. I can run it either way. I either run it like this with the vial mask, or I take the vial mask away and I do this. I put this on, and then I switch it up and I put this on. Now, if I put this on, I can show you really quickly what happens when I put that on. This is actually the way I just did it right now. I prefer with the vial mask. The Memento bag, don't get me wrong. I'm going to show you something that's different about the reason why the Memento backpack is really good too as well. I like the vial mask because I like to have more bleeds on people. So, you know, he's on fire. He's got the vial mask on him. I make him bleed, and he still has the vial mask on him. Like, it just constantly keeps going. And it gives them extra damage. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm gonna fast travel back here. Actually, I'm gonna show you what happens when I put the vial mask on with this status effect build. Before I even go in here, I'm gonna show you what I mean.
Civilians in
So,
distress.
before the Memento backpack starts dropping its little trophies, my burn duration is 29.5 seconds. 29 and a half seconds is my burn duration. And yes, that does apply to PvP as well. It doesn't say it, but trust me, it does. I've seen it. I use it, so I know. It does burn that long.
You're gonna need to get the access code
Now I'm
to
going
the
to show
vault
you
to
something that's
recover the
interesting
item
that I
already
just figured
installed
out
from
like
Air Force
about a
One.
week ago, and this is
In that
sad because I
cipher,
should
see
know this,
whoever's
but
posted in the
I
old
just figured this
CEO's
out a week
office.
ago when I
One of
was
the key
when I
cards
was
that
using
should
the
give you access
Memento
to the vault.
backpack, and I noticed something was really weird. I thought I was seeing things, but I'm going to show you. Friggin' big guy. I'm going to have to take him out.
Healing myself.
I'm going to wait until this thing comes back. There it is. It's back. Bam. He's still on fire. See the burn duration? It's fucking crazy. He's still on fire.
Shit, look at me. Down.
The bleed runs out before the burn, for sure. These guys take a while to take down because they got a lot of armor. If I was a DPS build, I would be able to pound that out of them, but it doesn't matter. Even still, like, that's pretty crazy the amount of damage I've done.
Therapy.
I should. Okay, so before I touch these trophies, I want to stress this again. 29 and a half seconds is my duration for my burn. Watch my burn duration. It's going to go up like a motherfucker. It should, anyways. Okay, didn't move. Sometimes it takes a couple more trophies, but it does. Trust me, I've done this. I bet you my bleed duration went up, though. Yeah, it did. It went up by 2 seconds. Okay, so... Oh, yeah. And that's the end of that shit. Alright, so let me go down and get these trophies. Okay, there we go. It moved. So now I went from 29.5 seconds burn duration to 36.2. Every time I pick up trophies, it's giving me skill efficiency. Up to 30 times. And it's giving me skill haste, skill damage, status effects, all that shit. This is why I like sometimes running it this way, because... But the thing that really matters in this build, more than anything, is this weapon does a lot for you. Not this particular weapon, but the talent. Sorry, the talent does a lot for you. You can have the talent on any weapon you want. If you want to put it on a vector, then go ahead, as long as you have it. But perpetuation, there's perfect perpetuation as well, but trust me, it's really not worth it. It doesn't do anything better than this. It just, basically what it does is it reduces your cooldown to 16 seconds. You lose it force, so it cools down quicker. But really, I mean, it doesn't matter. It's not a big deal. The gun that it comes with is you can only get it on one type of gun, the perfect version of this, and it's a sniper rifle or a rifle. I think it's a rifle. So I'd rather have this one and still have the 20 seconds, because this gives you your, it's really easy to get a headshot with this gun. So headshots grant 50% status effect damage and duration. Now, I have another build that's not Eclipse. It's I took ongoing directive, and I rolled it to skill tier instead of being weapon tier. And because the backpack on ongoing directive, I'll show you real quick. I'm not going to put it on, but I'll show you what it does and the reason why I like it. This just got me thinking. So the backpack talent on the ongoing directive is called Trauma Specialist. Increases the duration of your bleed status effects by 50% and all bleed damage done by 100%. Now, if I was running this with this same gun, this is going to give me another 50% status effect damage and duration. So now if I shoot somebody and hit them in the head and get this procking, I'm now going to have 100% duration increased. And if it's fire, if it's fire that I'm using, it's going to be 70% burn duration. There we go. Oh, he's dying fast. Look at this. He's not going to make it. He's not going to make it at all. There's another big guy besides him. He's dead.
Checking for the key card.
want my durations to go away, so I'm gonna do this. Now, I'm at 37.5 seconds now for burn duration, and 12.9 on the bleed. Now the bleed, I can't get the bleed up too much unless I'm using ongoing directive, and even still it's a little bit tricky getting it up. And it's because Ubisoft really nerfed the bleed. Now, they did nerf the fire, trust me, they did nerf the fire. But only, and this is the thing, nobody uses the secret mine that I'm using. So, they didn't nerf the fire on this secret mine. They only nerfed the chem launcher and the sticky bomb fire one. That's all they did. They did not nerf the airburst secret mine because nobody uses it, right? I use it all the time. I've actually gotten good with it because it doesn't tell your enemies where it's going, and the people get the wrong impression with that. They think that, like, when they see me using it, they think, oh well, you know, like it tells it, it's gonna tell them where it's going because there's a red mark on the floor. It's just telling me where it's going. I've actually used this in a situation, and I actually asked the person when I used it on them if they saw it coming, and they said no. It doesn't tell them. It doesn't warn them. They hear that something's coming, but they can't see it until it's too late. Now, with the artillery turret, that's a different story. When somebody shoots at it, it tells you where it's going to be. This is not the same. It does not tell you where it's going to be. Now, if it did, I'd be mad because that'd be stupid. It would defeat the purpose of using it. But I never see anybody using this, so it's not like it's a big deal anyways. But it is a very powerful skill. It is the most, when it comes to fire damage and fire duration, nothing beats this. Nothing beats this, nothing beats the airburst. Nothing. Like, just the initial damage. If I wanted to be a prick, I could throw on this so that when this is cooling down, the capacitor gives me 45% weapon damage because I'm running six yellow pieces, so it's 7.5% weapon damage per piece. So 45%. Not only that, but it says shooting enemies build stacks to a cap of 40. Each stack grants 1.5% skill damage. After 5 seconds, stacks decay 1 per second. Pretty easy to shoot them again and get them back. That's 60% skill damage if you stack that 40 times. So, I mean, you could do, you could get, so basically, I could switch to this gun, get the thing to proc, because it doesn't go away until I use it, turn around, pull this gun out, stack this 40 times for skill damage, and then unleash my fire seeker mine. Because the initial damage that it's going to do when it hits is going to be devastating. Like, completely devastating. Now, one thing to learn about the Momenta backpack is if you just sit around like this, over time, see how it's going down? It's now it went down from 35 to 32 because I'm not acquiring trophies. So the more I wait, and if you don't know what I'm talking about, it's this backpack is the best. This is probably the best piece of gear in the game. I don't even care about the Eagle Bear. Fuck the Eagle Bear. It's nothing. This is the best piece of gear in the game by far. It has all three. It has all three core attributes on it: red, blue, and yellow. So technically, because I'm wearing all yellow, so technically because I'm six, I'm skill tier 6, but I'm also technically I have one red and one armor as well. So that's the beautiful thing about the Momenta backpack. Oh, that's what I meant to say. And it has two buffs on it. It has a short and a long term buff. The short term buff is only 10 seconds, and it happens every time I pick up a um, one of those trophies. But it depends on what you're wearing again. So I'm wearing mostly yellow, so I will get. You only get one of those. For the short term buff, you either get a red core, blue, or yellow. But you get those bonuses. One bonus of those three for your short term. Now the long term buff comes with it at the same time. And it says for every trophy collected, you gain additional 1% weapon damage, 1% skill efficiency, and 0.1% armor regen. And it stacks 30 times, and it lasts 300 seconds. As long as you grab trophies, you'll keep refreshing that 300-second timer. When you're at 30 stacks, you will have 3% armor regen total. You'll have 30% skill efficiency and weapon damage. Skill efficiency is everything, like I said before. Status effects, skill damage, skill haste, skill duration, health, all that. It's everything. So having 30% of that is having 30% of everything to do with skills. Um, yeah. And if I was to run um, 2 more pieces of this, I'd get another 10% skill efficiency.
Looks like that key card is the one we were looking for.
So, I mean, there's so many ways I can use this memento backpack as a skill. It works great as a DPS build as well, but I don't know what it is about this thing, and I don't want to just say this, but this backpack, this backpack to me feels more like it was meant for a skill build. It really does. Even though it has all three, it just feels more like feels more like it was designed for skill builds because it works so good as a skill build. There's so many ways you can use it in your skill builds. Like I could make an infinite amount of builds with this. I could do a rigger build with it. Like, where's my rigger build? My rigger build's right here. And I could have a constant. If I did it with my rigger build, that might be nasty actually. Um, because it's skill damage, right? And I'm running the chest piece with that, so I would get rid of the waveform because let's be honest, the waveform is good, but if we think about that for a minute, the waveform rotates between your skills. So 1 minute you'll have 30% skill damage for this side, and then it'll diminish and go to the other side. Whereas if I use the Memento backpack with rigor, I've always got 30% skill damage for sure. I will also have 30% skill haste. Status effects. Like, I thought about it when I was doing these builds, and I haven't done it with this one yet. Um, I'd like to, though. I'd like to just do this, get this off. So I'm running rigor, so I want to run a piece of wyvern, or, you know what? Yeah, a piece of wyvern. That'll give me 10% more skill damage. throw this baby back on. This gives me 50% skill damage just for using the skill. And of course, if I'm going skill damage, then I'm going to do this. I gotta try this out. I have not tried this out, and I'm going to tell you this right now. I have not tried this out, so hopefully it works. It should.
Hostile radio intercepted.
It's the fucking division. Roach wants everyone back at headquarters.
Agent in need of backup.
I love this sniper rifle. It's so awesome. Good gun. And where's Sniper Boy? I'm going to finish him off in a very, very nasty way. Okay? And trust me, in the dark zone, nobody wants to fuck with this sniper rifle. Especially when you're using the Memento backpack, because the damage I'm stacking right now is going to be ridiculous. Like, I guarantee you, if I'm fully stacked in the dark zone, let him run his hazard protection build. Okay, this is the counter to the hazard protection build, because you don't have protection against skill damage. As much as people want to argue that point, you do not have any protection against skill damage. Status effects, yes, sure, why not? Explosive damage, sure, but I'm not going to use explosive damage. I'm going to use the sniper rifle. Sniper
Just up
turret.
ahead.
What are we? Can't see the fuckers from here. Grenade. Got your back.
Oh, you little bastard. Uh-oh.
Can't take more. You need to stop.
Authentication successful.
Anyways,
Access
you get the point. It's nasty. There's so many ways you can do this. I would say, depending on your situation, So what you should do is put the memento back. You have loadouts, so make two skill builds, a status effect one and a skill damage one, so that when they switch over to their little hazard protection and they think they're all safe, and all of a sudden the sniper turret hits them, they're like, exactly, dumbass. I know how to counter that shit too. Because I love these guys in the dark zone. They just,
Hostile radio intercepted.
they chirp you. I turn my area chat off because I don't want to hear the toxic shit. But they will chirp you if they kill you. Or if you're using status effects and they're using hazard protection, like, ha ha ha, you know, like,
Agent, you got a new assignment.
and the minute you pull the sniper turret and hit them, it's funny how quiet they become when they're dead. And you're like, oh, where's your hazard protection now, buddy? Oh, that's right, it doesn't work against the sniper turret because it's not a status effect, it's a skill damage. So there's more than one way to skin a cat. And that shield, trust me, once if I was fully stacked with this memento back, so when you're in the dark zone, if you're going to use the memento backpack, you need to go to the landmarks right away and kill shit. Start stacking your stuff right away, because you know there's always that one person in the dark zone that's going to be Mr. I'm going to just run by you, and then the minute you run by him, he's going to turn around and go. He's going to go rogue and shoot you right in the back. So, what I normally do is when somebody's about to pass me, yeah, look at that. As soon as he rogues up and doesn't realize that I have something over top of me, like the shrapnel trap, because I've had people actually try to attack me in the dark zone. There was 4 manhunts the other night. I wasn't streaming that night. I had 4 manhunts on me, and I threw a shrapnel trap because it was just me. I threw a shrapnel trap in the doorway, and I put my sniper turret down. And I'm not kidding you, all 4 of those manhunt guys came through that door, and they died so quick. I had to take a picture because that's how quick they died. They just boom, as soon as they stepped into that doorway, because I had so much skill damage that they died so quick. All of them were dead. And it was like manhunt denied. Yeah, that was the end of that. They didn't try that shit again. Do a little test here with this. This sniper turret, nobody really uses it much. I love it. It does so much damage. And hazard protection won't protect them against it. I also like using this bad boy too, the shrapnel trap. We keep standing there in the open, yep. Night night. Here, have some presents. Run out of there, I dare you. Oh, hi, guys. Bye-bye. I'm just waiting for this dumbass over here to run into my shrapnel trap. Oh, there he is. Yeah, he's dying. Yeah, dead.
Search query finished. Subject located.
President Ellis. Call the helicopter on standby to extract him.
Allow lockdown procedure. Initiated.
That doesn't sound good.
But a nice sniper.
Isaac,
And then you get the
keep way out of
momentum
the vault.
backpack and you start stacking your skill damage and all that
Searching way
nice
out of
stuff.
the vault. 0 matches.
I'm running rigor to
Shit,
top that
Wristwatch.
off,
Okay,
so it's
let me
even
see.
more damage.
Punch through the west
And I'm
wall.
running the
There's a
chest
maintenance
piece to get
tunnel running
50%
alongside your
more.
position. It's a long shot, but it's the only one we got.
Good morning. So, you don't see a lot of people using this though in the dark zone. Well, I mean, the shrapnel trap, yes. I like to use it a lot. I started it actually. Nobody ever used the shrapnel trap that I saw until I started
Plot a
using it.
path to the president's location.
And people noticed how powerful it was.
Highlighting most expedient.
It's only powerful if you know how to
Son
use
of
it.
a bitch, it actually worked. Thanks, Isaac.
And you have to stack your skill damage. You have to stack skill damage. That's how it works the best. Don't worry too much about status effects, because it's more skill damage that you want with that. It's just a bonus if you get them to bleed with it. They bleed with it anyway. So. It's just nice. Anyways, I'm gonna get off here, but if you enjoyed the video, please leave a like and subscribe, and if you're that energetic, hit the bell and you won't miss another video again, because I do this every day. And there's so many different ways I can do this build with the Memento backpack. I mean, I can do, like I said, I can do it with the Eclipse build. I can do it with the hardwired build.
God, you're here. Look out. There's guys on the walkway.
What? I'm sorry, I can't. Say that again. It was so small on my screen. You're wanting to know how I'm stacking the skill damage? I'm running a gear set called Rigor, and but I'm running the chest piece with the Rigor gear set, which gives me the damage buff increases from 25% skill damage to 50% just for wearing the chest piece. And then I've got one piece of Wyvern on for some more skill damage. I'm gonna roll this when I get some ceramics. I'm gonna roll that to skill damage, not repair skills. And then I've got skill damage on all these. I'm stacking skill damage on most of them. This doesn't have skill damage, but I'm not worried about it, because this thing right here gives you a total of 30% skill efficiency, which a lot of people don't understand what skill efficiency is. It's everything. The status effects, yeah, they're based off of status effects. The president's gonna die though, because I was too busy talking, but that's not a big deal, because I'm just gonna do this real quick so I can talk. Now, one thing that does affect status effects, that's why I'm running the Memento backpack. Skill efficiency is everything. It's everything. It's status effects, skill damage, skill haste. It's everything. I didn't know what skill efficiency was about 2 months ago, until I really started looking at it. And I started talking to people and that I knew, and they're like, skill efficiency is... I did some really, really in-depth research on skill efficiency to see what it was. It's like weapon handling. I'll show you. Where is it? Oh, it's in here. Weapon handling is basically these 4 attributes right here. Accuracy, reload speed, maybe not ammo capacity, but stability for sure. It's a bunch of things, weapon handling. So people don't understand weapon handling either. It's a good thing to have, actually. It can be the difference between you hitting somebody and you missing somebody. Because if the stability, if you're using a gun that has like a lot of jump to it, and you don't have any weapon handling on it, well, it's not going to fix the problem. Okay. Okay. So, you want to build a status effect build. Well, don't go by... First of all, there's different, I don't know how many of these you have. I don't know if you have this one. I use mine, status effect build. I have one already built, actually. This is what I use for my status effect build. I'm not sure. I don't know if you have the vial mask or not, but if you don't have one of these, get your hands on these. This is just mostly for skill damage, though. But it also gives you 45% weapon damage as well. But I run, if you have the Eclipse gear set, you want to make sure that you roll, if you don't have status effects on your pieces, make sure you get some that do. So for 2 pieces of this gear, you get 15% status effect. But the other thing is on your chest piece and your backpack, there's a special talent on it. This one increases your transmission range from 10 to 15 meters. So this, I don't know if you're familiar with this gear set, but when you kill somebody with this gear set, if they have a status effect and they die, anything within 15 meters of that target that died will also be infected with whatever you did. So if you were burning them and they died with a burn, that burn spreads to everybody else. And when you use the chest piece, normally without the chest piece, you would only get a 50% refresh. You would get your skill would your status effect refreshes after you kill somebody and it spreads. So when you use the chest piece, you get a 75% refresh rate when it hits the next target instead of 50. So you get a bonus. If you don't wear the chest piece, then you only get 50. But I wear the chest piece to get 75. Now I'm nasty because I have this. So with this one, I also have status effects on them as well. But I have Creeping Death on my backpack, which when you apply a status effect to somebody, anybody that's within 8 meters of that target also gets infected with whatever I put on them. So if I put poison on them, everybody gets poisoned. If I put burn on them, everybody gets burned on them. I do this because in order for my shit to normally spread, I have to kill them. Whereas when you use Creeping Death, as soon as you apply a status effect, if anything's around it, they are getting it too. They'll get on fire as well. So that's why I wear that. Because I like the vial mask. I'm going to show you actually what I mean by this. The vial mask is very nasty. I'll show you. I'll reset this difficulty. I still use a heroic, but I just want to show you what I'm talking about. Now I also use some skills that normally other people don't use. Like I use the Fire Seeker Mine because I know how to use it well. So I use it because it's very powerful. It's the most powerful fire weapon in the game. But a lot of people don't like it because they can't use it properly. It doesn't work like it used to. So you have to tell it where to go. So I'm going to show you what I mean by the Vial Mask. Why I use the Vial Mask in Creeping Death. Watch this. There you go. Now, if that was human, they would have been so dead. So quick. They would have been dead quicker. But this Seeker Mine right here, this is the airburst. You gotta tell it where to go. So all you have to do is practice with this thing and get you good to it. Because I kill people all the time in the Dark Zone with this. It's really hard to use. But if you have a general idea of where they might go, Because it doesn't tell them. Like, it shows on the ground there for me. It shows me where it's going. But they don't know it's coming because it doesn't tell them. Unlike the artillery turret, it doesn't tell them it's coming. Like, it tells them it's coming, but it doesn't show them where it's going. Like it does, like when you use the artillery turret, it shows them where it's going to land. This big radius lights up around you if it's going to hit you. You don't get a warning with this secret mine. It just hits. And that's the good part. Because you can clear rooms out really quick with this. Especially when you're using creep and death. Yeah, they're all dead. They just die so quick. So basically, that's why I like using the fire and the thing. Oh, I can tell you. So the Vile Mask has a talent called Toxic Delivery. Status effects also apply a damage over time debuff for 10 seconds. Total damage dealt is equal to 50% of your concussion grenade damage and increased by your status effect attributes. So basically, every time I set somebody on fire, make them bleed, shock them, doesn't matter. Yeah, a lot of people use the chem launcher, but you know what? I'm telling you right now, if I hit somebody with an airburst seeker mine, I'm going to kill them. And I'm going to get to that right now. Why? I'm going to show you the difference. I'm going to load up a chem launcher right now, the fire one. Oh, I can't right now, but I can show you the duration. So with my build, and even doesn't matter whose build it is, this is probably the strongest you're going to get with this for status effects. 12. Yeah, that's exactly what happens. I use the Seeker Mine in the hive, the Stinger Hive. Make sure when you're using the Stinger Hive, though, if you're going to use it, oh, it's on cooldown. Go into your mods and make sure the mod that's on it, where is it? It's down here. I gotta pick it up. Let me just, I can't look at the cooldowns yet until, okay, there we go. Okay, so I gotta put a mod on here. In here, there is, it's the bottom right, Stinger charges. Make sure you put the +4 Stinger charges on it so you get 18 instead of 14. Oh, and if you have a capacitor, that helps with the damage. So when and the reason why I use this capacitor is for the hive, mostly the hive, right? Because I'm getting skill damage every time I hit somebody with this gun. You can get up to 40 stacks of this when you hit somebody with it, which equals 60% skill damage when you fully stack it. And for every skill tier that you're running, as long as you got this gun in your hand, that is. It doesn't apply to other guns, just this one. For every skill tier you're running, you get 7.5% weapon damage. So I'm running 6 tiers. It's 8 meters. It's 8 meters. It's usually, like, when you're PvP, and it's usually big enough, because usually teams stick together, right? Yeah. Or, I mean, there's another way you can do this, too. You want to see something really cool. You don't have to use the Vile Mask if you don't want to. You can also do this. I'm just going to put this on. Because what I'm going to do is I'm going to put an Eclipse piece on my backpack, which is going to give me a new talent on top of the one I already have. And it says, with this talent, it says amplifies all damage you deal to status effect targets by 30%. Oh, I can use this in either. I use this build in either. But what I was getting at was this. So wait, no. Let me put that back on, sorry. Where did I put it? Where did I put it? Where'd it go? Shit. second. Let me find that back again. Creeping Death. That's what I was going to do right there. So I'm going to put this back on. And I'm going to put this on. I don't know if you have this, but if you have this, it's really nice. This is nasty. This is nasty. Put the Imperial Dynasty on. Okay? Make sure you're running Creeping Death as well. Because I want to show you what happens. All right, I'm going to read it to you first. So it says, while in combat, applies burn to the enemy closest to you within 20 meters. That's a pretty big radius. And then, of course, Creeping Death adds another 8 meters. So, in PvP, most teams of 4 or 2 or 3, they stick together. Pretty close. They're definitely within 8 meters of each other. So, this has a 35-second cooldown, though, but it's still nasty. I can show you what it does, actually. I'll show you what it does. This is nasty. Like, this is really nasty in PvP. I've done this in quite a few times to people. As soon as you get into combat with them,
Civilians in distress.
as soon as any bullets are flying, anything that's within 20 meters of you is getting on, like, they're going to be on fire. I'll show you.
Old CEO's office will have a key card that should give you access to the
This
vault.
is what I was talking about. See how they're all on fire over there, those 3? That was just from that's from my holster. My holster just set them on fire. Not that I know of. You know what? I did some thinking. I did some counting one time, and I'm pretty sure that it's not actually 35 seconds. It says it is. I want to try to proc it again and count in my head to see how long it takes to come back. But I think I counted like 20 seconds or 25. It's actually 10 seconds shorter than what it says. And if I could use the Memento backpack, yes, there would be a way I could, but I can't use that with this because they're both exotics and you can only wear one piece. I don't think as a whole you can cool that, like, make it the cooldown less. See, in the Division 1, I don't know if you played the first Division. In the Division 1, you could definitely reduce that cooldown to less than 35 seconds. Because I like the way they used to do it, actually. But this one is different. But I think there is a hidden kind of cooldown reduction that they're not telling you. Because when I use... there's a build that I use, like, with the backpack. I have another backpack here called the Acosta backpack. When I overcharge, it says the cooldown is 60 seconds, and I counted this one day with my status effect build on, and it was about 30 seconds less than what they said the cooldown was there. So I think there might be, maybe your status effects do kind of play a role in reducing the cooldown, but it doesn't tell you that it does. Watch this. They're already on fire. The minute I fire a bullet at somebody, they're on fire. Like, see, they're all burning now. Yeah, so that's pretty nasty, in my opinion. Like, now, if you encounter somebody that has hazard protection, then you're gonna have to change it up. So I would recommend... How much is it right now? 179. My burn damage is 179,274. And it says PvP damage is only 26,000, but trust me, it's higher than that. Because I've actually watched people tick when they're on fire, and I'm like, no, it's higher than 26. Oh, for the holster? Um, I don't know how much damage it's doing. See, the one thing that I learned about fire is when you're on fire, um, you can't shoot right. This is basically what happens when you're on fire. This is the only way you can shoot. You can't do this. You can't aim down your sights when you're on fire. You can only hip fire. And hip firing is very inaccurate, so they're not going to probably kill you with their gun, unless they're snipers. No, I don't think so. See, like I said, what I normally use with this build, if I'm running the Eclipse, I like to run this Memento backpack, and I like to stack because it gives me 30% skill efficiency, which is everything. Skill haste, skill damage, status effects, it's everything. Anything to do with skills, that's what skill efficiency is. It gives you 10% of everything. So when you fully stack the Memento backpack, you get basically 30% of everything. Status effects, everything. Haste, damage, and yeah, and you also get armor regeneration as well from the Memento backpack. You get 3% when it's fully stacked. Yeah, crowd control, yeah it is.
Taking too much damage. I hear you.
It's about to proc again. There we go, he's on fire. See what he can't do when he's on fire, right? He's absolutely useless when he's on fire. I'm gonna keep my stack, that's why I keep doing that to him. He's on fire, look at it. See the numbers coming off him? It's like 58,000. This is the longest burn you're ever gonna see. I'm gonna show you. He's not gonna make it. It's like 31 seconds. He's gonna burn to death before it happens.
Checking for the key card. Looks like that key card is the one we were looking for.
So, that's why I like to use the Fire Seeker Mine, because it has the longest burn. The more status effects you have, the better the burn duration. Your duration gets changed. It depends on your status effects. It doesn't seem like much, but when you're in PvP and you can't heal, because you're trying to heal and you're burning, and you're burning and you're burning and you can't stop burning, that's why I don't know why people like to use the chem launcher. I mean, it's nice. You can set people on fire, but the burn just doesn't last long enough for my liking. I only noticed this when I was one day I was screwing around with the sticky bomb. The burn duration on the sticky bomb is 12.2 seconds, which is not very long. And then I tried out the chem launcher, and its burn duration is only 11.8 seconds. And then I decided to try the Fire Seeker Mine, and I noticed that the burn duration was ridiculously high. It was like 29.5 seconds. Holy shit. Now, it's only because I'm using Firewall. If I go to the place here, and I take Firewall off, I'm probably going to lose about 2 seconds off that, or 3 seconds or more. Because Firewall gives you, depending on how you did your tree, actually. I'll show you. I'll take it off and then show you what I mean. So I'll just put Technician on for shits and giggles. But now I'm going to check my burn duration on my Seeker Mine now. It went down to 26.3. So I lost 3.2 seconds off that when I took Firewall off. Now, Firewall's back on. So, the reason why I like Firewall is because Firewall, you have to put points into this ability though, and it's right here. It's called Enriched Magnesium Formula, and you have to max it out to level 5, and it gives you. It depends on what you want. Like I said, my status effect build is nasty no matter what. I can destroy shit with it. You probably would kill those big guys faster with a critical damage build. But if it was, like I said, if it was human, and I hit somebody with my Fire Seeker Mine, they're dead. They're dead. There's just no ifs, ands, and buts about it. Now, if you're ambitious enough, this is the way I set my tree up. But you want to have this for sure. You don't have to get this. You can spend it on everything else. Oh yeah. So this is what we do when there's usually 3 of us. Usually when there's 3 of us in the dark zone, I'll run a status effect build. And then the other guy will run a skill damage build, and then the other guy will run a DPS build. That's usually how we roll. And the reason why we do that is because if my status effects don't work, then the other guy is running all skill damage. His will work, because hazard protection does not protect you against skill damage. And that's the part that people don't understand. Hazard protection is for status effects, and that's all it's for, really. I do believe they should turn it down a little bit, though, because I know people that run about 90% hazard protection, and I think it just needs to be, like, if I was to do this game over, I was in charge of this game, I would nerf. I have some skill damage on my stuff. It's very little though. Actually, it's very little, very little. You can run with skill damage as well, but that's why I'm using the gun, right? That's why I'm using this. This is my skill damage. When I hit people with this gun, every time I hit them with a bullet, I get a stack of this, and it gives me 1.5% skill damage per bullet. Like every time I hit them, there'll be a stack. I think I can show you here. This gun stacks. See that? See how they're all on fire over there? And I didn't even fire a bullet or throw a skill. That's my Imperial Dynasty kicking in. Now it doesn't last as long as the Fire Seeker Mine, but it can, it gives you time to set up. So when you set somebody on fire, now you have time to set up. Like throw your hive near them, and then get your Seeker ready to go as soon as it wears off. But this thing stacks. You see the 2 zeros? It's got nothing right now. Okay? So I have 4 stacks right now, so that's 1.5 times 4. That's how much skill damage I would have right now. and it stacks all the way up to 40. It's at 29 now. Now it's at 40. So when it's at 40, I now have 60% skill damage. After 5 seconds, though, the stacks start to decay. So you just basically shoot them again and get your stacks back real quick. It's not hard to maintain 40 stacks. But that's my skill damage on this build. That's how I have skill damage on the build. I just use the capacitor. Now, I can be dirty because I'm running a status effect build. I normally run this pyromaniac weapon if I'm using fire. And mine is it's called perfectly ignited. Deal 25% weapon damage to burning enemies. It's pretty nice. You can do these builds any way you want. You could even put switch one of those things out for the Eclipse backpack, and it will amplify. No, I think it's just it's set. I've tried to make it better. It doesn't matter. It's just a set thing. It just catches them on fire and does a certain amount of damage, and I've never been able to get it up any higher, so I think it's just generic. It's a certain damage, and that's it.
I've got what you want, Agent.
But the you can this is only if you want to spread. This is only if you want to spread status effects. This is a, what do you call it? An AOE, area of effect. That's what this build is basically. That's basically what it is. When something dies with this, when they're infected with fire or bleed and they die, the whole purpose of this thing is to just make it spread and spread and spread and spread. Yeah, no, I would, if I was gonna use a really nasty skill build like status effects, I only do this to be a prick because it spreads, right? So everybody else gets it. So if I was doing this build and I wanted some really good status effects, then I would take that off, obviously. Get yourself some Empress International and get yourself 3 pieces. I would say these 3 pieces too, because when you have 3 pieces of this stuff on, now I'm going to put the Momentum backpack on, and then I'm going to put 2 pieces of Wyvern on here, which will give me 10% skill damage, and then when I put the second piece on, it gives me 10% status effects, plus I have status effects rolled on it. This is my nastier status effect build right here. So 3 pieces of this gives me 10%, 10%, let me say this right. So what you're seeing is 10% skill health, 10% skill damage, and 10% skill efficiency. But what you're really not looking at here and seeing is that 10% skill efficiency you see at the bottom is actually adding another 10% skill damage. So in reality, if I was reading this correctly, I would have 20% skill health and 20% skill damage from that 10% skill efficiency. Okay, so 10% skill efficiency off that, and then when the Memento backpack kicks in when it's fully stacked, that's 30% skill efficiency that it gives you when you fully stack it. Plus you get 3% armor regen, plus you get 30% weapon damage from it as well. So this is probably, if I was going to use a status effect build, this is the way I would go. Just make sure you roll, if you can, status effects on it. I've got status effects on all my shit. Except for this, because this doesn't have stat, like it doesn't get a default. It's just, this is just scores. Okay, so here it is again. So skill efficiency, like I said, skill efficiency is everything. It has everything to do with skills. So 10% skill efficiency would give you 10% status effects, 10% skill damage, 10% skill haste, skill health, duration. It's everything. You get 10% of everything. So if I have 40% skill efficiency, again, I would have 40% skill haste, damage, status effects, health, duration, and so on. It's everything. It's everything into one. And they just called it skill efficiency. So that would mean that this build is actually nastier than my other one. Let me show you the talent. Oh no, that's this one. It's 30%. So what you do is you farm. I don't know if you go to the summit, farm Empress International gear until you get this one right here, the chest piece, which has Caesar's Guard on it. Caesar's Guard has something called Perfectly Skilled. It says skill kills have a 30% chance to reset skill cooldowns. And trust me, it's more like 90%, not 30. Because I proc all the time when I use that thing.
Nice to see you,
When I kill shit, it gives me back my secret mine again. Or it gives me back, my hives. And yes, it can give you back some hives.
Every day I see you are getting a little more skilled.
So if you have like 3 hives, like 3 charges in your hive, and you kill somebody with that, and you're wearing that chest piece with that talent on it, it could potentially give you 4 or 5 up. It'll give you a charge back quick, and then it'll be halfway through the next charge you'll get back. Like it's if it keeps proccing, your thing will just go. Now, I can show you one other thing, and then I got to get off here. But one other thing that I didn't know about, and I can show you this when I'm going to go outside the gates here for a minute, because if I do it in there, it's not going to matter. No, which is fine because, I mean, it depends on what you want to do. I want to see if I can get outside this gate. I want to show you something. This is another thing that I just learned the other day. I should have known this, but... Okay, let me take the Memento backpack off for a minute. Actually, no, let me do this with the hive first. I'm going to make it blow up. So it goes back to 0. Okay. Now I want you to watch the hive charging back up. Okay, it's not bad, right? Yeah, it's kind of slow. So I didn't know this. So take this off for a minute. And we'll just put something stupid on there, like we'll put Creeping Death back on. Get yourself a pair of these. Put these on. Okay, and we're going to detonate this and watch it. Oh, sorry, I'll be overcharged. Hold on. Watch what happens when I overcharge, though. Okay, so now the overcharge is gone. Okay, so now we'll do it again. Now watch. See how quick it's coming back? Even without the overcharge, look at the BTSU gloves. For some reason, they are very good with the hive, and they make the charges come back faster. Like, look at how quick that's charging back up. If I wasn't wearing those, that would be so slow. That's the BTSU gloves making those do that. And so, in order to use the overcharge with the BTSU gloves, you have to detonate your hive. But the thing about the BTSU gloves, and this is good if we're in a group and I'm running these, because I'll show you, I don't know if you have them. It says, grants 15% hive skill haste per skill tier. So it's like 90% skill haste. Detonating a hive refreshes your skill cooldowns and grants overcharge for 15 seconds. If at skill tier 6, this effect also applies to all your allies. So, if I'm skill tier 6 and I'm running the BTSU gloves, I can overcharge everybody. So basically, any skills they're using will be, technically, all their skills will be level 7, tier 7. I can overcharge everybody in my group. So if there's 4 of us and I decide to say, hey guys, why don't we all put Sleeper Mines on? And then I overcharge, they'll have the same power I have for 15 seconds, basically. Their skill shit's gonna be nasty. They'll be overcharged. Everybody gets overcharged, not just me. That's why those gloves, but the problem is, here's the problem, is the cooldown on those is like 120 seconds. Yeah, so I would start farming those.
Let me be your one-stop shop.
They usually the Black Tusk have those. You might be able to actually just farm gloves. Go to the summit and farm gloves. They should drop. They usually come from the Black Tusk though. Right, because that's where the BTSU gloves come from, is the Black Tusk. But I gotta get my ass off here because it's almost 4 o'clock in the morning, and I'm sure I have many messages bitching at me about going to bed. I stream every day, anyways. I've got lots of videos. I'm always looking at new builds. I come up with new builds all the time, just looking at things. I've got so much gear. I've got too much gear on me too. Yeah, no problem. Have a good night. Yeah, no problem. See you next time.